Dog Films presents Paid to Dream with Charles Dennis.
Hello, it is Monday, January 12th, and we are back with Paid to Dream, and we have a wonderful guest for you, Lianne Hu. There she is.
Hi, Charles. So nice to see you. Happy 2026.
Happy 2026 to you, and what about your friend hiding behind you there?
Oh my God, you saw him? Oh,
He
he's
stuck his head up.
my little baby here. Where is my little Louie? Here is my little baby dog, Louie. Ow!
Oh.
Hey, don't be shy. You're the star. You're the star, Louie. Can you believe it? He's a little poodle, toy poodle, 6 years old. And he's my adopted son who's never gonna grow up and go to college. As you know, Lino is 15 already. So little Louie gonna stay with me for very, very long time.
That's good.
Yeah, Louie?
Well,
we go.
you and we've been friends now, it's got to be 20 years, I guess.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I mean, your mother, God bless her, taught my daughter piano and Mandarin, and that's quite the double bill.
Indeed, indeed. Such a great time. You know, your daughter was 5, 6 years old back then.
I think
And
so.
she was my flower girl.
Yes, she
Remember?
was. Yes, she was.
Yes. How
Well,
sweet.
well, it's a pleasant memory, even if the marriage and the daughter didn't turn out well. It was a great time then.
Yeah, my mother, you know, she passed away 2014 in November. It's been
I was so
already,
fond I was so
yeah,
fond of her. What I did not know in the time that I knew her was about her own. I just thought she was a piano teacher. I had no idea that she was a star in the Shanghai theater. Can you tell me some stuff about your mom and your father?
absolutely. So my mother, she's theater trained actress, and she met my father, who was very young, brilliant, talented professor. At one point, my father actually taught my mother acting classes
Oh,
when, when my mother was in Shanghai Theater Academy. And then they fall in love. And just about my father was ready to go to Moscow Drama Academy in late 1950s. And he got censored and sent to Chinese northern country. It's like Siberia in China. But my mother was so in love with my dad, so she lied to her family and wanted to follow my dad. So she turned around, told her family, saying she was sent away. And then my father was following her. But in fact, was the other story, because she was such a princess. If her family knew she was the one following my dad because she just met in love, they would never allow her. My mother was 21 years old. So they left Shanghai. Took them more than 20 years to eventually come back to Shanghai. And then my dad became one of the most important, prominent theater director in 1980s. My mother returned to theater too, but you know, when so many years passed, she back to stage, but she couldn't have the career she should have, because back then when she was in academy, she was a top student. But she gave all her love and beliefs to my dad. And then they create three of us, you know. You met Sherwood, my oldest brother.
yes.
And he's also director, theater and film. My second older brother, Shi Yang, you never met.
No, I
He's a
didn't even
film
know about until now. You're so secretive.
secretive, yes. So he went to Beijing Film Academy. He
Right.
made many movies. Now he resides in Paris, but he's focusing film, not like Sherwood. Sherwood's more like hybrid. And then me. But my two older brothers are many more years older. I wasn't planned, but here I am because they want a girl. So I acted with my mother. Now I look back, it was very, very fond memories. And I also was in my father's play. And that was my teenager days. Like, I was 12 when I was on the same stage with my mother in Shanghai Theater stage. And then my father directed me when I was 13. So I look back at the time when you're a child, you just didn't understand what a privilege, right? It came so natural because I was raised in theater. And in fact, my father wanted me to play this important lead character in this play. It's like modern twist of like musical. But at that time, my father was like experimental theater because he did everything from Shakespeare to Eugene O'Neill to Chekhov to Jean-Paul Sartre. But this one is this new idea, is this new youth energy to bring music, the drama all together. And since I was just love dance, and also I start acting when I was very little. So my father really wanted me in the play. And I said, no, I don't want to work for you. So I refused him for a long time. And then finally he made the president of the theater came to talk to me. And he was my father's student back in 50s. And then he become like running the theater. And we call everybody, my parents' colleagues always uncles, aunt. So this uncle one day visit us, and his one singular purpose is try to convince me to show up for my father's production. And then I said, okay. And I did. But now I look back, it's one of the most memorable, important, unique experience, and I got to work with my dad.
That's
So
wonderful. That's wonderful. When they were in exile, were they able to pursue theater in any form, or what was they do? What their life was like in exile?
so the first 4 years when they were in northern country in Chinese Siberia, Chinese map is like chicken, right? So they're
Right.
in the tip, very, very close to Russia. So when they were there during the winter, when the river frozen, you can walk to the other side and say hello to your Russian neighbors. At that time, they were still closed. Yeah. And so at that time, they were actually in a local theater. It's a regional little theater. So they excused the time to send my father away, saying they need someone with experience, with ideas to help them with the theater. But really was a punishment. So my father and mother was there for 4 years. And then they couldn't take the harsh weather condition. It was so cold. And coming from south, Shanghai, they trying to make their way back. And eventually they settled at a little town called Yangzhou, where is actually famous little town. But
I've
was
been to Yangzhou.
you been to Yangzhou? Oh my
I
God.
went to Yangzhou. It's the culinary capital of China. And
Yeah.
Marco Polo was the governor of Yangzhou.
Yangzhou is only now if you drive, it's about hour and a half driving from Shanghai, less than 2 hours, because now we have freeways. But back then, it was an ordeal. It's like 1 day travel. You have to take bus and ferry, and then eventually train to make back to Shanghai. So that is the closest my parents could make back to Shanghai. They could not get back into Shanghai because at the time, it was very tightly controlled by residency. You had to have a workplace to accept you. You cannot, like now, you travel freely. So they were there for almost 20 years. And then early 1980s, my father eventually, finally made it back to Shanghai. And then my mother followed. And of course, I followed. And then my father spent his last 10 years just work tirelessly, try to make up time he lost. And then he made such a contribution to Chinese modern theater and became one of the most important. If you look at that theater period for Shanghai modern drama, theater development, my dad really made a huge, huge contribution. But he unfortunately passed away so suddenly, died of a heart attack at age 56.
Now, here's a question I have for
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
We were told for many, many, many years that people in China could only have one child.
Not anymore.
But so when did that? Obviously, your parents had 3 children.
Well, that started late. Like, I can't give you precise time. I think I caught to the just very fortunate the last train. I was able to make it to the world. And the irony is that at the time in Yangzhou, they started to work for a local theater. And then during Cultural Revolution, everything just dissolved. The artists, my dad was director, my mother was actress for the theater. And then among other people, especially my dad was a rightist. He was already had a problem before. So basically they sent away to working different places, like re-educated in the labor like farm. My dad sent to working for a place like agency to raise birds, feeding fish. And my mother was sent her to a retail store to be a cashier at a counter selling sugar and stuff. And at one point, she was made a duty to talk to and convince people to plan your parenthood, meaning minimize making more babies. And then people actually turn around and ask, like, by the way, how many kids did you have? But I think that time was still just born or something, because Chinese party at that time slowly moving to make more restrictions. So my mother's like, yeah, but and then they're like, well, if we have kids like yours, we want to make many more. So my mother say, oh my God, I'm not doing the service. I'm not, actually make my mission work, because they look at, I have a 3. But yes, now time is different. Chinese party now, Communist Party, Chinese government now is really encouraging people to have more kids. Not just 2, I think you can even have a 3. Few years ago, they started with having more than 1, so you can have 2. Now I think you can have more than 2. So time is different.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm going to insert part of your demo reel now so people
Okay.
can see you and see your work that you've not only acted in but produced. So here is some of Lianne's wonderful work.
Thank you.
Living here and working at that restaurant, you don't have to do that.
那你是愿意的，还是不愿意？
你要真放不下我，就娶我吧。
我就不能娶抢过我的女人？
你可以为爱而生，你不可为恨而死。
一年，
我长矛与枪无缘。
你是做大事儿的，
做大事的人都想好好睡一觉。
等天亮我陪着你。
And I still do what I was told. Don't go anywhere. Don't talk to anyone. Where is Green Canyon? I want to go there.
Okay, we're back from that, even though you didn't see it. And I want you to... the first film of yours that I saw was Lord of Shanghai, and that was just amazing. Amazing, amazing. Great gangster movie.
Yeah, period gangster action drama set in early 1900s, and the sequel took us to 1915, to 1925. So it's really spent 20 years. It's a massive, big production. Yeah.
And how was it received? I know it won awards all over the place.
Yeah, it was well received in China. It played well. Also, we attended, I think the first one, because the sequel, the Lord of Shanghai first one was opening film for Shanghai International Film Festival back that time when we just released. And then the film also was played, both films played at Asian World Film Festival here in LA. I think looking back, one of the greatest achievement is, although it's Chinese story, but with Shiwa's lens as a director, he really wanted to, one, of course, highlight and telling a story from female perspective. It's not godfather, it's godmother. Back in, we talk about 100 years ago, at that time, in that society with all the complexity of foreign occupation, Chinese local force, and how a young woman becoming. So that, I think, is the most important thing is the time, and then as a woman the time, and how her survival and triumph and intertwined with 3 generations of mafia bosses. And then to a point, she becoming the most powerful person in Shanghai Triad. And also such a reflection of how Shanghai has changed. Because Shanghai is this melting pot. This is such a great influence from West as well. And then so with the individual's life shifting, and you can also see such a landscape politically, socially has transformed in Shanghai. So Shanghai is important character in the film. But just from the production side, although we tell a Chinese story, a period story, is action gangster drama, we also wanted to bring to a sense of relevance, how Westerners see that period of time. And with that said, we assembled an international creative team. So I brought Andre Sakula, the very important Polish cinematographer who made many great movies here in Hollywood, During his early career, he had worked with Quentin Tarantino. So all early films from Quentin Tarantino was worked supported by Andrei Sakula, like Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dog. And production side, we brought in David Brisbane. He worked for many great, important Hollywood films as well, like Twilight. Just look into the lens from their perspective, how they gonna tell a story for a Chinese story. And that time to really bring the modernized view of it. So if you look at the film, you don't feel this was shot so distant. It's very modern film language. And still, it's very faithful. It's very faithful in terms of period. So I think at the time when we assembled this team, Shiv and I were saying, we're making a Chinese language film, but we wanted that film feel international. We wanted to bring in most talented people to do the work with us. And after 100 days shoot, we did. It was a very tight production, but we did it. It was in the winter in Shanghai and surrounding cities, and many of them also shot on stage because, Shanghai already turned into a modern, big metropolitan way, beyond what you have seen now. Because in the film, we're talking about 100 years ago. So all those sets, and we're trying to find as many locations possible, but still, many of them of those things we have to shoot on stage. And so that was a huge undertaking. And then, of course, such a big scale production-wise, actress and different picture cars, and it's on and on and on. But we did it. Yeah.
Well, I was absolutely thrilled to have you in 3 of my movies, and beginning with Lavender Wu
That was
in
fun.
in
Yeah.
Chicanery,
It was
and then
always thrill to work with you because, you can tell the story no one else could. It has so many turns and twists. When you first reading, like I first reading the first page, I can never know how the story gonna go 90 pages later.
how do you think I felt?
You're the creator.
I know, but then a complete change of pace was Alana Cates in Barking Mad, and she's one of my favorite creations. That scene where you came across the street to Patty McCormick's house because your plumbing had broken down and you had to use a bathroom, and you came over and you came out of the powder room raving about the soap.
I
And
think mostly were my improvisation,
oh,
right?
it was wonderful. And your incredible legs, that outfit that you wore.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Thank you.
and here is Lianne as Alana Cates.
Hi, I'm Alana Cates. I'm a neighbor. I live across the street. Is George Carwell here?
What the hell do you want?
I've been hoping one day we got to meet.
Keep hoping, because I'm busy.
But I have a minor problem. I have plumbers working at home, and they turn off the water for the next hour, and I just want to go pit on the worst way.
Make it quick.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then, most recently, again, another change of pace. You were Destiny Chow, the Tiger Lady in Nom de Plume. And when you beat the crap out of Malcolm Danar, that's such a wonderful, wonderful moment.
Sean O'Farrell, you directed The Sopranos.
A couple of episodes.
Oh, the best ones. Is he going to direct Annika Yata?
I can make a deal with his agent.
And am I still playing Annika?
Were you keeping this a secret, Stu?
Oh my God. How many other actresses did you make promise to besides me and Martin Ackerman?
Why do I know that name?
You lying bastard! Two-faced son of a bitch! Oh my God!
Why are you doing this?
Did you hear something?
You lying bastard! Two-faced son of a bitch!
Hello?
I found Molly. Ackerman? I hate you. No, Molly Plume. The missing author.
Where are you?
Marina Del Rey.
Oh, we'll get her back here for fuck's sake. She needs to be in that reception tomorrow night. I hate you.
Well, under your wonderful directions. And it was always such a fun to work with you because so much joy. We're not working. We're having fun
Yeah. Well,
and bringing our energy to the set and work with people who are so in love with what we're doing. And it's just incredible every time. So good to see you too. Every time was thrill. It was a thrill.
thank you. Now, the show is called Paid to Dream, and it basically is we're all dreamers, and how wonderful to be paid for it. And which brings me up to the next stage of your career, which is you're directing a movie called Red Cactus.
Indeed.
So is this a long time dream of yours?
I wouldn't say it's long time dream of me in a way I plan for it. I think it's a natural flow of things from my creativity. It feels right at this time in this moment of my life as me grown as a person and also as an artist. So I wouldn't say it's a long time coming. As you know, I was raised in a artistic environment with 3 directors around me. And you know, the joke is my mother always saying, I am the director of directors, which is true. Although she was actress, she's, not, although she directed, but it's, that's not her thing to be director. But my 2 brothers, my father. So I think somehow it rubbed in me, but I never seen or pursued saying, hey, I want to be one of them. But it come to me feel natural because we are storyteller. I think in the end of the day, when I have such a desire to tell story from my perspective to express in a sense, I think probably more fitting for myself to take that position as a director than hoping someone to understand and nurture to get into the core of the story by another director. But when I started writing the screenplay, I didn't plan to direct. Actually not. I just have the story, have an urge to tell, to express, to bring my viewpoint about life from my experience, from my observation, from my realization to take that from my head, my thoughts, to the paper. Just like you, as great writers, we have the desire to tell the story. And that's how I started. But after I get into the writing, towards end of completion of the screenplay, it become more and more clear. I should give a try. I should be the director. So here I am.
Wonderful. And where will it be shot?
Well, this is still in the process, try to assemble all the puzzles together. I think it will be a co-productions between US, Europe, perhaps with China as well, because the story itself is centered around 3 characters crossing 3 continents and their intertwined journey together and how they potentially realize who they are and honor who they are, and then find homelessness to homecoming. So that journey really, in the end, it is bringing yourself to be closer to your original essential you. And giving, the characters' origins, and also just being more of faithful to the story itself. Of course, like I watch your other interviews, the AI become a big play right now, right? We have CGI, but in the end, I do believe to be authentic, we do need to make the movie at the story where it took place close as possible. Because one of the important elements, it is flamenco dancing. And that's in Spain. So I wanted to shoot part of it in Sevilla. And then there's also a piece in Madrid, with this iconic city. I do think it's important to shoot part of the story in Madrid. And then, of course, the story takes largely also in LA. So you will see the West Coast, our beautiful city of angels. And hopefully we can grab some sentimental values from my own personal selfishness in Shanghai. So therefore, it will be a joint production, I hope. And then bring the artists from different continents as well.
I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
You're going
I
to do
can't wait to make it.
Okay. The half hour flew by like it always does. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the wonderful Lianne Hu. If you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, which I don't want to hear from you if you haven't, but click like, subscribe. Lianne will be in all our futures.
Thank you, Charles.
再见。
It's a pleasure. Thank you. 再见.